there was this guy and he was like in a dress and you're like, man, why are you in a dress? But it's okay because he's funny. And then you see him and he's the voice of this doll, Woody, in Toy Story. You're like, man, oh, that's okay too. He's a doll and he's a girl, but it's okay because he's funny. Then you see him as an astronaut and you oh man, he's an astronaut, man, and that's okay because he's funny or real and understandable. You can relate to him. You know, you love him, and you learn his name, and his name's very simple, Tom. Tom Hanks. There used to be a store next to my house called Hanks. So it's a very lovable name. And one of my pastors was Tom Harris. So you put them together, Tom, Pastor Tom, and the store, Hanks. What do you get? Tom Hanks. So everything seems to connect sometimes. And you got that. And it's really good when you have actors that you love, you're gonna go and you're gonna watch their movies. So you see Mr. Hanks, and he's in a dress in like the 1970s for the Bosom Buddies. It's okay because he's funny. But then you see him as a voice to Woody Allen, or what's it, Woody the cowboy in Toy Story, and that's great because he's funny. And you see him as an astronaut man in Apollo 13, and then you see him as just a married man, and he's like a post office delivery man, and he's in an airplane, and then his airplane crashes and he survives, and he becomes best friends with Wilson in Castaway, and then he's like a foreigner in the terminal, and then he's like this investigator guy in the Omega Code. Not the Omega Code. What do you call it? Was it Omega Code? No. The Da Vinci Code. That's right. The Da Vinci Code. And there's a bunch of other movies too, and I'm a really big fan of Tom Hanks because I believe in what he's saying, and it's just very interesting what he's saying. It's like very realistic. One of the movies that was really interesting that I saw one time was the one where Tom Hanks plays a father, and the movie is a narration of the father's son, and the son talks about his relationship with the father, and it was a great relationship, except the son didn't really know how much his father meant to him, but his father taught him a lot about life and how to, ask questions and to find things on his own. And then his father died, and then he had to go and solve a mystery of had a bunch of maps and finding some keys. And his father, Tom Hanks, is the father, and Tom Hanks, the father, died in 9/11. I mean, in the story, one of these stories about something that probably actually happened. And it was very, very interesting to see, one of these stories of, you have all these different stories of people who died in that terrorist attack or conspiracy theory, whatever it was. It was probably some kind of mix between terrorist attack and sort of planned by the government and the NWO, New World Order and stuff, with crashing into the buildings. You have to think about, the buildings are really big. Can they really be crashed by the airplanes? You should think about that. But nonetheless, however it happened, it happened. Those buildings crashed on the 9/11/2001, and a lot of people died. And so this one movie is a story about the son and how the death of the father affected the son. And it was very, very emotional. And actually, the mother knew. The mother knew that he was that the son was doing all these things because the son was trying to solve a riddle. There was this box, and this box had this key or something, and he was trying to find out who does the key belong to. And so the mother knew that the son knew, but the son did not know that the mother knew that he knew. And so he would always hide that from his mother. But later on, he found out that the mother knew, and then he kind of felt embarrassed or scared or something, and the mother said, it's okay, and I let you do this because I really wanted you to do this, because it's kind of like you get to reunite with your father one last time. It's a very important lesson that we need to learn, is that we should appreciate life with the people around us while we still can, because you never know when that person is not going to be around us. For me, it was with the girl Tiffany Cumbo, and I knew her since I was 5 years old until I was about 18 years old, and then she died. And I really liked her a lot, and I wanted to marry her. And I really, really loved her, but then out of nowhere she died, and I found out about that at school, in high school, and she was going to my high school, but then she died like a Friday night or a Saturday morning. She never woke up in her house, I think, and maybe she had an overdose of like Tylenol or drugs or medicine or something, who knows exactly, because nobody really told me, not the family, but knew the family pretty well, and I wrote like letters to them and gave them some videos of her, because we recorded some things, since I like to make movies and stuff. But it's very interesting to see people, and you should care about people as much as you can, because you never know when they're going to be gone, and you may not care about them until they're gone, but you should care about them while they're still in your life. And so for me, it was Tiffany Cumbo, and it was also Blake Webb, who was a good friend of me, a good friend of mine, at a Camp Karatli, and at Revolution Hawaii, and at Salvation Army Corps, Salvation Army Church in Portland, Oregon, of the USA, that I would always go to, and he was the youth pastor, and I would hang out with him, and I would help him out with a lot of things. But then one day, like, we were doing a basketball marathon, and I was helping him, and he was the youth pastor, and he was involved with all these different things, and we're in a basketball marathon, and we're going to try to win, and then on Sunday morning, he never woke up, and then I felt kind of like maybe I should have checked on him sooner, and it was kind of painful to see him die, and he was like only 23 years old or something, and they say maybe it had something to do with like his heart, and he had like a heart attack, and he had some kind of heart condition or something, and then also my uncle Jim Williams Wolf, and he was one of my favorites, and that was the husband of my mother's sister, and so those are three people that died in my life, and you may know people in your life, and there's also like my grandfather, which is my mother's father, Richard Moorhead, and he was very interesting and a smart person, and I think he was involved with like architecture or airplane engineering, like my brother, and then he died. Like my grandfather and my uncle died in 2008. Tiffany, she died in 2003. Blake Webb died in 2010. So, a lot of these things can get you down. Or like me, I'm 28, I'm almost 29, now it's 2014, in January the 5th, and I'm single, and I could say, oh man, this is so horrible, I'm single, and I could get really sad, but I shouldn't, I should stay motivated and keep working like Tom Hanks. Keep moving on to infinity and beyond. Brought to you by Original Oatmeal.